In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things amazing leaders do to schedule self-care to be on top of their game and how you can do it too. Get ready to change your life right now with 5 things that great leaders do to ensure that they schedule time for themselves to remain at the top of their game. Are you ready to move forward? If so, let's flow. Welcome to this Dancing in Life podcast, and welcome back to my 30-day challenge. I'm Sage Flo here with you on Lovers Self-Care Saturday. We are spending the first few weeks of the year together, focusing on steps that you can take to become a better you. I've been sharing stories of how everyday heroes dance with life to make the world a better place, and how they can find new hope after trials and tribulations. Let's concentrate on what you can do for the year ahead, making sure that you can make the time to take care of yourself. The big idea here is that you can schedule daily self-care this year to look to where you let yourself down before and how you can schedule your self-care for you. In recent years, I've been traveling the world learning how to help shift the human condition. What does that mean, shift the human condition, you ask? Well, I was inspired by Tony Robbins, and I went to learn NLP under John Grinder himself. I went to Europe and spent considerable time and effort and resources to learn different methods of neuro-linguistic programming, which is a pseudoscientific approach to communication and personal development. And I personally trained under John Grinder because he is one of the original creators of NLP, and Michael Carroll, who I'm so appreciative and grateful for sharing his knowledge in the world. I've learned different methodologies, and one of the most powerful ones was the ability to communicate with yourself. What does that mean? You talk to yourself? Yes, it is a way to communicate with the different parts of you, and how I started to download the different identities that we all have within us. You see, the problem was at times there would be an incongruency with oneself. Let me give you an example. You know what I mean? Talking to yourself. For example, you ever have days where a part of you wants one thing, but another part of you wants the opposite? Look, you can find a way to communicate with yourself, and you can guide yourself to finding the answer of what you truly want. You see, the internal problem at times is when the two parts that you have within are at odds with each other, right? Should I go work out, or should I have ice cream, right? And they disagree. Look, anyone who has a decision that they have trouble deciding may have a conflict within them. And the question that I'm posing is, how do you resolve it? Right? One can communicate with themselves so that you're in agreement with yourself. And that's what I talk about, the congruence, about being in flow. But at times, people try to force things upon themselves because of what other people want, what other people say. Or they lie to themselves and not be authentic, perhaps in an attempt to please other people. The stakes are high. As I dived more and more into personal development and started learning more and more about NLP, I realized something. The different processes that I, along with other coaches, mentors, therapists, that we were learning to help other people, I had to do it for myself first. I figured out it is much easier to be in the mindset to see a problem, a challenge, but not from within you, but from outside of you. Right? Let me give you an example. You ever have a friend who complains about their problems? Now, it's very obvious to you what the problem is, but they go into the story of repeating the problem. Like if a friend, say, is a gambaholic, and they're like, man, I should have won today. Why didn't I win? Or they said, I lost too much money, or things like that. And you're just like, stop gambling. It's simple, just stop. However, when it's yourself, it's a different story, because you're in your head, and we have these survival mechanisms designed within us, this fear built into us so that we make things bigger than they actually are. Here's the plan, and it is simple. Coach yourself first as you would coach other people. To all my fellow coaches out there in the world, all my fellow mentors out there, I've met so many of you out there making an impact and being what I call part of the light team. I want you to hear me now. You are your first client. You must coach yourself to overcome different doubts, different fears, different hesitations, whatever triggers that you have had in the past. Utilize that pain and overcome it and share with people how you did it. But you might ask, how do I do this? There are powerful processes that I lead people through, but I'm going to keep it very simple for you here on this podcast. Treat yourself as your first client. Here's a tip. Take a picture of yourself in a state where you're in a story, right? So in the example about the gambaholic friend, right? To have him take a picture of himself when he's in that state of frustration, like, I can't believe I was so close. I almost won. Take a picture and blow it up. Put it on a TV or an iPad or just on a computer screen and come up with a different name and coach yourself by talking to yourself out loud, but not as you inside of your head, but as you helping your best friend, by you helping someone who really needs help, but not you. Does that make sense? I know it may sound a little bit silly at first, but talking and coaching yourself is one of the best ways to grow as a coach or as a mentor that I've discovered on my path. Again, there's multiple paths to success. I'm just sharing with you. I'm not claiming to be some expert who knows it all. I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me. And through my studies and my journey of learning from so many different teachers around the world and what my perspective is. So I want to share this with you because when I started learning about different processes, I immediately started to hone them and start to help anyone who would be willing. And so I would go walk on the street. If I see someone in pain, I would say, hey, would you like a gift, or would you like me to share something with you? And I share these stories with you of my NLP journey in other podcasts of, say, helping a blind man find more gratitude, to empowering an Army veteran in a wheelchair in Venice Beach to remember his greatness. Look, NLP is a powerful way to communicate and influence, and it starts with you. So the theme is to remember to treat yourself as you would your first client. And so that's why it's important for self-care, because the better you self-care, the better you can reach and help empower others. Here is how you schedule you time for self-care. First, listen to the cues. Your body may be sending you messages about your stress level that indicate that you are in fact in need of more self-care. Signs can include trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, feeling fatigued for most of the day, having ups or downs with your appetite, whether it's difficulty focusing, being irritable, being nervous, right? Drinking more than usual, isolated. Objectively notice how you are feeling and behaving, how these feelings are behaviors, what they feel like within you, and how often they occur. You can create a journal or use an app to track what you're feeling, thinking, and doing. Step 2, set aside at least 10 minutes in the morning to create opportunities to hear and listen to your body signals. I do this every morning of tuning in through meditation because mindfulness is proven to lower stress, increase self-awareness, increase body awareness, improve performance, protect against mental illness, increase focus, improve emotional processing, help regulate emotion, increase compassion, decrease feelings of loneliness, and improve sleep, and more. Mindfulness, meditation is so powerful. With practices like that, consistency is key. Studies have shown that just at least 10 to 15 minutes of mindfulness practice a day will lead to results. The morning is an amazing time for people. I teach and share with people something called a rise flow. And it's in the morning time, it's when you have the most control of your schedule. Before reacting to things, before picking up that phone, tapping into that inner mindfulness. Like there are apps. One that I really, really love is Think Up, and I use Calm as well to provide guided meditation to ease you into the practice. Written and audio resources and in-person meditation groups can also guide you in the beginning of your practice. Number 3, invest in yourself. You're worth it. Sometimes you need an external influence to help facilitate your self-care. The best approach to self-care is to initiate your practices and routines from a place of strength and stability. One of the best approaches to self-care that I discovered is to initiate your practices and routines from a place of strength, stability, to proactively prevent crises before they happen. You want to look at coaching or mentorship because a good mentor or therapist will help you familiarize with the internal roots and workings of your thoughts and behaviors. You will recognize patterns in yourself and better anticipate how your past and present impact you now and in your future. Look, therapy is not intended to eradicate all sadness or full range of emotion. Rather, you will build the skills to observe, weather, and accept any storm, and reframe those storms into blessings or to empower you to another level of greatness and happiness and joy that's already within you. If you don't want to pursue therapy, you could benefit from a personal trainer, a dietitian, even a coach. Step 4 is to treat 2 or 3 workouts a week like work meals. Absolute must. Because regular workouts and exercise improves your mood and decreases feelings of anxiety. It increases the production of endorphins, assists with weight loss and maintenance. It even strengthens your muscles, your bones, increases your energy levels, and reduces the risk of chronic disease, improves your skin health, improves your brain health and memory. It does so much, improves sleep quality and relaxation, and so much more. Find a time in your schedule that you do not regularly have other content and put a recurring event in your calendar. Remember, when you get scheduled in, it becomes real. So treat these appointments with yourself like work meetings. Number 5, how about cooking healthy meals in advance? Eating well can brighten your mood. It can strengthen your immune system. It can boost your cognitive capacity. It can reduce insomnia, soothe sore muscles, give you energy, reduce cravings for unhealthy food. And like working out, finding the time and budget for eating well can at times feel like a challenge. I get it. The thing is, eating well will not only save you time and money, you're investing in your health and in your future. It is now time to take our powerful flow action to get you moving forward now. Today's action is called 3 Ways for Self-Care Saturdays. Self-care is essential to a happy life. So here are just a few suggestions of self-care, and here are the steps for today's action. Step 1, go for a walk and just breathe in beautiful fresh air. Step 2, look into the mirror and give yourself a loving affirmation talk for 3 minutes or more. Just say, walk by the mirror and say, you are amazing, you're incredible. I know it might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's a must. The more self-care you give to yourself, the more you show up in relationships, in your finances, in your career. Step 3, simply choose one of these 3 and post it and share and tag a friend who needs to hear this message. Hashtag Self-Care Saturday. Make sure to tag me and tag Flow Army. The hope here is that you schedule daily self-care this week. Thanks so much for being with me on Dancing in Life and for this 30-day challenge. I'm Saje Flow, and I look forward to spending time with you tomorrow for Healer Soulful Sunday, when we look together at determining what held you back last year, so you can take the steps to prevent self-limiting actions this year. And if you like what you find in this series, you're definitely gonna wanna check out my 7-day challenge, which is free and available in the description below that you can check out now. Until next time, flow on.